all these different roles that you've played, I've always thought, and I could be wrong, that the Oceans franchise seems like it might have been the most fun because it felt like, well, that's a fun group of people to be around. And
mostly.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's dig in a little bit.
It's got to be Carl Reiner.
Yeah. You know what? We won't do it on this. We'll talk afterwards.
Okay. Carl Reiner, renowned prick.
No, we're not going to go into anything.
Well, whatever. The important thing, but it does seem like it would mostly be a fun gig.
Oh, it was absolutely a fun gig, and we got to go everywhere. And, Jerry Weintraub, who was hell on people in the business, but great for us, just made it like perfect.
Right.
And when we were in Italy, where we shot the second one, we had like one whole floor of a hotel. We kind of had to, because paparazzi isn't Italian. We could not. There was no place where we could really go. So they're like, "You guys live right here. That's it." And our families came, and it was great. Like, and if we ever did get the paparazzi would come, I'd be with George or Matt or something. And we'd go, "Look, there's Brad." And we just all. Is that Brad?
It's a different Brad.
Yeah. There's different levels. And it's cool to have seen all of the different levels, and you know what I mean? Because I can still pretty much just go around, you know what I mean? I don't really get bothered that much. Somebody will say something or I'll know somebody recognizes me. But for the most part, I just am low-key and people just let me live my thing. I don't think Brad can be, you know what I mean? It's like he can't go anywhere. And I don't think I would want that. I think I would, it's like, it's hard and people feel like, and I know you've probably heard it before, people are like, well, what did you expect? Like, that's what they think it's the contract. Like, I should get to walk up to you and like put my hat on your head and go take a picture. Like, what's wrong? I paid for this. It's like, well, no, I did that thing and you paid for that thing. And then we shook hands and that.
Right.
And now I'm just a person out here too, So it's tricky and look, these are high class problems and it's like, don't complain over this stuff. If nobody came out, nobody would be seeing your things. Nobody would, if you didn't have fans, nobody's coming. But it is an interesting sort of a thing.
I think what you're talking about, I think what you're talking about is this whole other, I get, hey, Conan, cool, hi, or Conan, not a fan, karate chop, but I get some version of that, and it's very friendly, and they know me as me. It's not that, it's not that level where the street gets blocked. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that's the thing that nobody signs up for. Like,
when
Brad Pitt wanted to be an actor, I don't think he thought they're going to have to close an entire airport if I show up, because that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, and you can't anticipate. You've seen it, but you never think like, it's not going to be me. I'm not going to have to like do maneuvers to get out of traffic because somebody's trying to chase me. But it's like, sometimes.
I think we were doing a live podcast, and it was after someone sort of charged the stage when Dave Chappelle was performing, and security, got to the person, and but then it was like a week later, I was doing something at like a Netflix comedy event, and this whole security team came up and said, just so you know, we're going to be protecting you when you're on stage because of what happened to Chappelle. And I said, gentlemen, stand down. That is not going to be a problem.
We are good.
I am no Dave Chappelle, and I don't inspire that kind of fanaticism.
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, someone might throw like a book of poems on stage for me to read, but that's about, it'll be a small paperback that will bounce off my head. It'll be fine.
That is hilarious.
What's nice is you're such a great shapeshifter as an actor that you're able to inhabit all these different roles. Your career doesn't fit any standard pattern in this fantastic way.
Tell my agent it's fantastic. It's like, why don't you pick something? Maybe I can sell your ass now. Who is he? He's this, he's that, he's that. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm kind of with your agent now. I wouldn't sign you. I think you must be a nightmare, but
I am. I'm a problem. I'm a big problem.
So I've heard you mention this, and I find it fascinating because everybody, we all look at different people and make assumptions. And so I would look at you and say, well, Don Cheadle would have no anxieties about his next job because who's worked more steadily in more different ways, and not just as an actor, but producer, and more consistently, and is respected and check all the boxes. But that is not the case. That's not how you feel.
I don't know if any actor, I mean, of course, there's certain people who have piles of scripts that come in and they're always like, which one of these do I want to do? But doesn't mean you're always going to find one that you want to do or one that you think is good. And by the way, I don't have piles of scripts coming to my house, just to be clear. But I get offers and there's things that I look at and there's a lot of stuff that I want to put together as a producer and try to find ways to put people in it and get it over the transom. That's just like roll up your sleeves and that's a grind always. But no, I don't. It's more the anxiety of once you've said yes to something and are doing it and the level of that you hope you're able to achieve with it. Like I'm literally right now like trying to figure out the proper proportion for that. It's like it's not your responsibility. Once you've done it, you put it out there, you let it, and it's going to be what it's going to be. I don't know any actor that doesn't leave and just go like, God, I hope they don't use this take, and what's it going to actually be?
Because you give up a lot of control.
It's gone as soon as you're done. Everybody else gets to play with it. And you don't know what it's going to be, which is even more of a reason to just be like, okay, it is what it is. It's out of my hands. But it's very, if you're doing it right, I think you're using a lot of you and you're exposing a lot of stuff, and it can make you very vulnerable. And then to put that out there and be like, whatever, is something I'm trying to learn about more, how to be more, I guess, graceful with that moment with myself, as opposed to being, to use your word, neurotic about it, because I think most actors are pretty neurotic.
Yeah.
If you care, if it matters, you want to do the best job possible, and you want to, if you love the material, you want to like do well with the material. You want to be in things that work and that feel good, and that you can tell yourself the reason that you spent 4 or 5 months out of your life doing it. That's another thing. It's you can't get that back, no matter what they pay you. It's like your time is your time. So you want to make all of the best decisions you can going into the thing, and then you want to show up fully and be there as much as you can be. And so it's weird to then, after it's over, kind of like how you dial that down or turn that off, or it's just a very interesting process. And it's over, it's a long time. You do the pre-production, then you do the production, then you do the post-production, you're doing ADR, then you do press. It's like a project lasts years in your life. It's not just when you shoot it.
It's amazing to me. It took me a long time to figure this out, but over the years and years and years of doing the late night show, to realize, because I'm, not from the world of acting, movies, and so it was very foreign to me. But the idea that when people were coming, by the time they got to my show, or anytime you came on my show, which I think you came on my show like 9 times, you were promoting something that you had maybe finished making a year or a year and a half earlier.
Yeah.
And then you had to get yourself into the mindset of, yes, I'm here to talk to you about this.
Right.
And that is so foreign to me, because everything, this world particularly, but even the late night world, everything was, we think about it at 3:00 in the afternoon.
Right.
We tape it at 5:30.
Yeah. The immediacy.
They like it. They hate it. People that night like it or hate it. Someone on the street, maybe the next day, but you're already on to the next thing.
Right.
And so, that was news to me.
Yeah.
There's kind of a marathon quality to it.
Yeah.
Like you said, all these steps, and you've got to be totally invested each time one of them comes up, but then you move on to the next project.
Right.
And then by the time the podcast or the talk show rolls around.
It's like, that was 6 months ago. Yeah. That's far away. I mean, Fight Night, the one that's coming out in September, that's not that far away. We've wrapped it in, I wrapped in June.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, very often it's 6 months, 9 months, a year. You're like, set up this clip. And you're like, I don't remember that.
Oh, trust me. I was out there so many times.
Right.
At the 10,000,
Right.
late night shows I did. I was out there so many times where I'd say like, so tell me what we're going to see. And they go like, well, and I could see it in their eyes. And then I'd say, you go to a camel store And they're like, right.
Right.
Yes. Yes. Camel store.
Oh, don't tell me. And then.
Suddenly it became a game show where I'm telling them what their clip was. And ding, 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 ding.
Right.
You get a new car.
A camel store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
They
You didn't see that movie?
They
No.
sell camels?
That was a movie. Yeah.
Okay.
That you're very proud of, by the way.
Absolutely. And I came up with the twist.
That's
in
where
the
I know
plot.
you're from.
The camel movie.
Yes.
Camel store.
Camel store. Yeah.
You probably sussed me out as a real camel guy.
Look, there was one ticket sold, and it looked like it was to you.
A geek bought a ticket. That's the good news.
Hey.
We only
No, not that kind of geek.
Yeah,
the
no.
good kind of geek.
The good kind of geek.
Oh.